Hello, beautifuls. I lost my window of perfect lighting because I met an interesting gentleman. And isn't that just the way life rolls? And so we're going to work with the lighting that I have now. I wanted to talk today in particular about doing the things we love. I've talked a little bit about that before, about how it's so important to take time to do the things that we love, the things that make our heart sing, because it signifies to us that we are worth that time, right? And that in conjunction with the idea of taking care of self. And I'm a bit of a word geek, for those of you who don't know me, and I love the etymology. And one of the words or phrases that I find so interesting is self-centered. Now, if I asked you if you were self-centered, I'm pretty sure your instant response would be no. Because we've been taught that self-centered is a bad thing. It means that we are egotistical, that we are selfish, that we are out for ourselves and no one else. And yet when we look at the meaning of those two words, self-centered, self is really just distinguishing an entity as unique and whole unto itself, and centered is rooted, based, and being in the center. When we are self-centered or centered in self, it's a beautiful place to be. And I will tell you, not a lot of people are living in that state. And that is in part because we've been trained that whenever we think about ourselves, then we're not a good person. That we always have to be putting somebody else before us or ahead of us. And the truth is, if we're not taking care of ourselves, we can't really take care of another. I also think of the word selfish, right? If I asked you if you were selfish, well, whoa, no, absolutely not. Because that, again, is another word that has been given a unfortunate negative connotation, because when we are selfish, when we are taking care of the self, it has been translated to meaning that we don't care about others. And the truth is, when we put ourselves and the needs of ourselves first, we are more capable of loving and taking care of others. You know, the irony is sorry, I'm just going to move this a little bit. There we go. That's better, isn't it? When we think about self, for the vast majority of people, we are unconsciously living very selfishly. Because everything that we do because of how it makes us feel. And I know I've talked about this before, and I get a lot of feedback about it because there are people who disagree with me. But it's the truth. When we're nice to other people, we do that because it makes us feel good. When we are unkind to other people, we do that in the moment because it makes us feel good in the moment. When we do something we don't want to do, we do it because it satisfies something in us we think will be accepted. We think that we'll be perceived as a good person. Everything we do is about us. And when we are consciously selfish, when we are choosing to be mindful of our choices, that is when we become empowered. That's when we are centered in the self, and we are in a better position than ever to help and assist others. I know that this is a new perspective for many. And I ask you, rather than trying to cognize it or bounce it around in your mental process to understand it, take a moment and feel into it. Because you'll feel that that is authentic. That to take time for yourself, to validate and honor your needs, is not something that is negative, and it's not something that is looked down upon. As a matter of fact, when we do that, other people respect us. They want to be like us. They want to emulate that, because that is a place of empowerment. And so today, I am visiting with you here in my bathing suit on the side of the beach. And even though I was called to do a video and I came here, my selfish part, myself that was in my center, wanted to connect with this beautiful being that was sitting and enjoying the respite in nature. And as a result, it changed my schedule. And so some people might think, oh, well, that's not really being centered in self then, because self-centered is putting yourself first. And my schedule was I was going to do a video. But when we are authentically centered in self, we are being guided by the heart. We are not being guided by the mind, by the shoulds, woulds, needs to, but rather the heart and our center. I thank you so much for listening to this perspective. And until we speak again, please be well.